What is up, everybody? This is Chelsea Lee here, live from Frisco, Texas. Okay, guys, I'm still home quarantining. Just gonna give you guys a little bit to get on here, but I hope you're doing well. As you're coming in, let me know where you're coming from so that I can say hi in the comments. And I hope you guys are staying safe out there. It's I don't know exactly what's all going on right now, but you know, just stay safe. But I wanted to just get on here very quickly and kind of just give you guys some information, give you some things to really know before making huge decisions right now in a very stressful time, thinking that this is the only way that you're going to be able to recover. I just want to make sure that you guys know, there is something else out there besides resorting to bankruptcy, resorting to debt settlement, debt consolidation, all of these big things that really impact your credit score and really can impact you, even meeting your goals as far as getting into a home or whatever that looks like for you, okay? So I'm going to go over that. If you get any value out of this, please feel free to share, and I would, appreciate that so much. But I'm going to go ahead and jump in. So if you guys don't know, for any of you that do not know, my name is Chelsea Lee. I am a executive credit analyst with my company. I've been doing this almost 4 years now. So I really love what I do. I'm excited about what I do because I get to help a lot of people, get to educate a lot of people that really don't know anything about credit. So we're going to kind of just get into this. So the first thing before, if you have any goals, here's the biggest thing to know before going into file bankruptcy. So first off, I am not a bankruptcy attorney. I have the whole moving parts of bankruptcy. I don't know all of that. What I do know is that if you are trying to get into a home, if you have that goal in mind in the next few years, 3 years, that is something you want to completely avoid if at all possible, okay? That's like the last resort ever for you, okay? So this is why, because if you want to get a home, so let's say you go file Chapter 13 bankruptcy and you're trying to protect, maybe you have assets you're trying to protect right now and you go to file that, here's what happens, okay? For 2 years, that is going to hold you back from getting into a home if you file a Chapter 13. Chapter 7, it's going to hold you back from getting into a home for 4 years, okay? Because it's just not going to happen at that point because that's going to be on your credit report as a public record. When it goes through the underwriting process, it's just automatically you're denied, okay? So that is something huge to know. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't ask those questions of, okay, when I go to file bankruptcy, how is this going to impact my credit? How is this going to impact me in the future getting into a home? Let's say that, you guys coming to money and things are really going good and maybe you just had a season of your life where it just wasn't that great, but because you made such a quick decision, now you're not able to go and do what you want to do. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So there's just a lot of things that you want to know before resorting to that, okay? I'm going to tell you a few stories about this. I've had clients of mine that have come to me because they have bankruptcy on their public records, or they're debating right now, should I file bankruptcy? Like, is it worth it? And so obviously, as we're going through the consultation, I'm asking them, well, what do you want to do with your credit right now? And, this client's telling me, I want to get into a home. Like, that's my goal. But I have all of this stuff that I'm dealing with that's from the past, and I just don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed with it, right? We take a look at the report, and a lot of this stuff is really old debt. It's a lot of, old collection bills. It's a lot of old charge-offs from, a long time ago. And that's something that my firm, and I can work on, okay? My attorney, we can work on that, right? So instead of her resorting to filing bankruptcy, okay, and she thought that was the only way to get out of debt, and she thought, people don't know this either, but she didn't have a home, she didn't have, huge assets or a business that she was trying to protect at that point, so it didn't make sense for her to go and file that, and then for her credit to be destroyed, for a long period of time, right? That did not make sense for her. So she came into our program credit restoration. we worked on those accounts, and now her score is above, I think she's in the high 6s right now, working towards the 700s at this point, just building positive credit. But she was so thankful because she was like, I had no idea that this option existed over here. Like, I had no idea. Okay, so a lot of people just really don't know. So that's why you want to talk to someone in my field with what I do. If you don't talk to me, talk to someone in the credit industry that knows how these things are going to impact your credit, because it's so important. Okay, guys? The next thing to before resorting to this, obviously, is debt settlement or debt consolidation. Okay, so there is a difference between these things, and here's why you want to avoid them. I can't see that far. But there is, my family's here with me. They're so supportive. I love them so much. But, so there is a difference, just so you guys know, between debt settlement and debt consolidation. Okay, so I'm going to break these two things down so that you know what they are, you know how to affect your credit. So debt settlement. So this is when you go in, you can hire a company. There is no reason for you to hire a company or to pay a company to do this, because you can literally do this on your own, or I could always guide you on doing this. But so debt settlement is when you pay the full or partial amount of the debt, okay? So if you have a credit card, and let's say you maxed out that credit card at $1,000, right? And then it went to a charge-off status on your credit report, or let's say that they closed the account, and you do not have, and if you do not have the full amount of money like in your pocket right now, which who wants to really pay out a full $1,000 out of their pocket right now, right? So what you could do is you could call the creditor directly and say, hey, this is what I have. You know, what can I do to take care of this? I want to take care of this debt. I cannot pay the full $1,000. What can I do? Typically, when you go in and do this, you could get a settlement about 25-30% of the debt. So you're talking about paying like maybe, which is a really good settlement, like $300 for a $1,000 card. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But you're paying this small amount compared to what you actually owed. So what happens is this comes on the report that it's zeroed out. So this does, I just got a call, sorry. So this does, this will count towards the debt to income ratio, okay? So it's gonna knock that down. So in a way, this does somewhat benefit the score, okay? But if you're going in and settling a bunch of accounts that are from, you know, years ago, we're talking like 3, 4, 5 years ago, and you're going in all of a sudden settling all these accounts, that's not going to help your credit, because what that's going to do is update that date of last activity on your report. So let's say the date of last activity, which is the 7 years that creditor has to report on your credit report. If you go in and settle a 2014 debt, let's say, right? That 2014 debt, once it's zeroed out, that date of last activity gets updated to 2020, okay, currently. So what that does is it drops your score. So yes, did it help the debt to income? But did it just drop the score? Absolutely. So, and then you just re-upped that 7 year that they have to report. So technically it's still on your report showing a charged off account, but it is settled, okay? So that's gonna be in the verbiage. It's still gonna affect you, but like I said, it is gonna help with that debt. So that is something to know and be aware of. And like I said, if you don't know if you should go in and do this, or you don't know if you should go in to settle accounts, you can reach out to me, or if you don't want to reach out to me, that's okay. But you need to reach out to someone that knows how this is going to impact your credit, okay? Debt consolidation. This is like this is almost up there with a bankruptcy. I want you guys to know this, because I've heard so many horror stories about people consolidating their debt, and so this is what happens. This significantly will impact your credit score. So if you want to use your credit at any point, or if you want to be able to build on your credit, this is like this is something to really just think about for a second, okay? So with debt consolidation, what this is you literally hire a company. You're gonna pay them. So you're gonna pay them money, right? I don't know exactly how much it costs to do all this. I know it is expensive, but you pay a company every month, okay? What they do is they let these let's say you have a ton of credit cards maybe that you're dealing with high amount of debt on. And let's say that you have credit cards that you're dealing with a high amount of debt. And then, okay, so you have these credit cards. Sorry, I'm like losing my track of mine right now. But you have these credit cards. You're like, I have so much debt right now. I don't know how the heck I'm going to get out of this. I have no way of being able to pay this down. Like, what do I do? So then you go and hire this company, right? A debt consolidation company. What they do is they're going to say, hey, you, here's what you should do. Pay us. We're going to let these accounts just close out, charge off. As soon as they charge off, we'll go and we'll settle it for you, right? So this is what's crazy. A lot of the times that I've heard of clients going through a program like this, what they do is they let these cards that are maybe like 30 days late, like a lot of times what happens is people start getting behind on their bills. So then they're like, oh, they start panicking, right? So they start, let's say they're 30 days late on a card. What happens is because they're 30 days late, this company's gonna tell them, you know, we're gonna let it charge off. Well, it typically takes 150, 180 days for a creditor to charge off an account, depending on what it is. If it's a vehicle, sometimes it's 90 days. It just depends on who the creditor is, but typically it's 150, 180 days. So you gotta wait almost, 6 months for something to charge off on your credit report. All the while, this is significantly impacting your score. You're gonna see your score continue to drop because what happens is you're getting 30-day late, 60-day late, 90-day late. All of these late payments are racking up on your credit report, and right now, any new late payment that comes on your report is costing you about 60 to 80 points, maybe more, depending on how high your score is, okay? So it's really impacting you at this point. So then once you get to that point, and by this time, most people do not have the patience enough, they don't have the funds enough to continue to keep up with a program like this. So then they end up canceling their account with this debt consolidation company, and now the money that they put towards this company is gone. Like they lost it, okay? Which was money that they could have took and paid their bills, if that makes sense. So now nothing has been settled. Now you have a bunch of charged off accounts, and it just does not, it's just not a good situation, okay? So that's why these are things that you really want to know. You really want to be aware of, and you really just, I'm telling you guys, really, really think about these decisions that you make, because I mean, honestly, having good credit, having great credit is going to relieve so much stress off of you, because the whole point of having good credit, the whole point of credit is for emergencies. So when things happen, like you want to be able to fall back on your good credit, okay? And so doing things like this are going to put you more behind. Filing for bankruptcy, going towards debt settlement, going towards debt consolidation, these things are going to really put you back, okay? And so the only reason why as far as debt settlement goes, it's not as bad as these other two. So with debt settlement, the only reason why you would want to go and do that is your debt to income ratio, you're trying to get that paid down so that you can get into a home, or whatever it is that's holding you back from getting exactly what you need done. That's the only reason why you would look into that, is getting your debt to income down, okay? Or avoiding you getting into a judgment situation. Avoiding a judgment happening, avoiding a tax lien or whatever kind of lien that could potentially happen if you don't pay a debt. That's when you want to go and settle a debt, okay? A company, let's say that you're working for a company right now that is telling you have to take care of this on your credit, or else, we're going to let you go, or else we can't hire you, which I've had clients come recently because of all that's going on, which is crazy, but their employer is telling them they have to have good credit to work there, to stay there, because they're laying people off right now, so it's insane. But that's why you would want to go and resort to something like that, if that makes sense. But that's also something that I could look at and say, hey, let's see if we can help you with the credit part on the credit restoration side, because this is what we do, versus you going in and just settling all kinds of debt that's super old, that's really probably unnecessary for you to settle, if that makes sense, okay? So most of the time, this is not required, okay? So settling your debt or doing debt consolidation or whatever it is, it's not required for you to improve or have good credit, okay? So this is not required. So And I want to just touch on something. Reduce it. Okay, yeah. So and then just to like kind of recap one more time. So consolidating your debt, it is going to affect you. It's much more destructive. It's literally like right there with bankruptcy. Like, it's intense. Okay, so really, before you resort to these things, I keep saying that, but before you go into that, just reach out to somebody that is gonna tell you this is how it's gonna impact your credit. Like, really get some advice, some guidance on this before you make a huge decision, especially in a stressful time. Sometimes we panic and we're like, what do I do? And we just go, we go in and do these crazy things because we're so stressed and we're in a panic, right? So take a moment, take a breath, reach out to somebody that knows more than you, that's educated more than you about whatever it is that you're trying to figure out what needs to be done, okay? Get that guidance before you go and make these decisions, okay? It's so important. And then the last thing that I'm going to tell you guys is, it would be, and I'll just be super transparent because, it would be so silly for you guys. You could save so much time, so much money, and you could really save your credit, okay? There's so many other options out there. So without talking to me or talking to someone in the credit industry, like I said, it would be just so silly to not do that, to not take that extra step of asking for help or asking for guidance, guys. So I know that right now, we're in this weird time of things are very uncertain. There's a lot of people that are losing their jobs, that are losing their income that they had for so long that was stable, and now it's not stable. So there's a lot going on, and my heart goes out to everybody. Like, my family and I were praying for literally everyone because it's just it is a scary time. We don't know what's going to happen, but I wanted to put this out here to let you know that there is options, there is other ways, and you don't have to go into a panic and freak out because there are people with resources that can help you guys. So I hope this helped. I hope this information kind of put some things into perspective for you, kind of give you something to think about. If you are dealing with a situation like this where you're not sure, do I need to file bankruptcy? Do I need to do this? Like, what do I need to do to get out of debt? So if you have any questions, if you have maybe you need me to take a look at kind of what's going on with your report, to get an idea of, hey, this is what you need to do, or how do I get my credit score up right now because I need to get a small business loan or a small personal loan for me right now during this time. Like, what do I need to do? I am so happy and excited to be able to help you guys and put that out there. So reach out to me if that's something you need or you have questions about. I'd love to answer them for you. Like I said, feel free to share this information because, like I said, I know a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't really talk about this because it's like a taboo thing. And then I just want to make sure that everyone, my audience, knows this is 100% confidential with what I do. So if me and you are talking, it is private. No one knows about this. And also, this is not tied to any MLM. For my MLMers out there, love you guys, you are awesome. My entrepreneurs, but this is not tied to that at all. My company's called White Jacobs and Associate. It is a family-owned business. So anyways, I love you guys so much. And I'm just praying for all of you guys, and I hope you guys stay safe out there. Keep your mask on, keep inside if you can, and we'll talk to you guys soon. I'll put some more information out here here in the next couple days, but I'm excited for you guys. Just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.